having a little fun, reflecting some lights. Basically, look at the pretty light. You're getting sleep. JT here from CLTFC Fan TV, for the fans, by the fans, in our news update studio. Last week, the Charlotte FC Football Club had a streaming live event of sorts with DT David Tepper and a lot of other great members of the club talking about all sorts of stuff. It's rather long, so what I'm gonna do is go through it and just give you some highlights. You're welcome. Also, MLS said we gotta change our logo, so that's what I'm working on. It takes a while, damn it. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the highlights of CLTFC's streamed event.
So don't pay attention to the video quality as much because it was streamed and then copied over. And Nick is hosting everything, so he'll be in between all this stuff.
Good afternoon, members of the media, and thank you for joining us today for our countdown to first kick. This is our first real opportunity to get in front of you to make sure that you truly understand about the opportunity that we have in front of us and that we fully welcome as a responsibility to being the first MLS franchise in the Carolinas. So as we take a look at what's coming up this year, we wanted to make sure we clearly establish what is the priorities for Charlotte FC, what it's going to take to be a differentiated MLS franchise and sports franchise in the Carolinas, and more importantly, lay out what is our mission. What is our mission, as it relates to being a sports brand franchise, but also what is our mission to being a member of the community. And really, it's crystal clear to us what we want to become. We want to become a unifying force for the Carolinas, and that's a unique opportunity that we have. We have this opportunity because we are new. We are the only professional soccer franchise in the Carolinas, both North and South. And most importantly is that we have an opportunity to establish a new fan base, new traditions. When you're in a position of North Carolina hating Duke and Clemson hating South Carolina, or even pre-existing NFL fandom to the thousands of people that move here every year, there is very little history and very few people in the market that have an existing MLS fandom. So for us to be able to grab people in both North and South Carolina and to create one unified fan base is a truly unique opportunity. And there's only one way we can do this, and we have to be differentiated in how we're actually approaching this opportunity. We will be progressive in everything we do.
Progressive in everything we do.
Our plans are very ambitious, but they're also in a way that's going to push the organization forward.
DT in the house.
All right, Dave, thanks for joining us today for today's town hall, the countdown to first kick. So
he called him Dave.
Before we dive in, a year and a half ago, 18 months ago, you were standing on the stage with the commissioner when we welcomed Charlotte's first MLS team. A lot has changed since then. Can you help us understand some of the challenges that you and Tepper Sports have gone through to get this team back on track?
Well, obviously, COVID was a big challenge, and we had we thought to have a proper opening of this club, we really need to push things back, which included sort of getting the stadium set for the changes we needed for soccer. The tunnel, to put a middle tunnel, and you actually need workers, and you need parts, and you need things which weren't going to be available during COVID.
Couldn't find anything.
Have the proper sort of start to anything. For me, I wanted to make sure we had the march, through Charlotte, march up to the stadium. The first sort of, first sort of experience that we had, be that communal sort of togetherness. And listen, it was kind of hard to party in the last year, and that's what I
damn right.
Think, that is in Charlotte. That's what this club, I think that's part of the attraction of MLS. It's if you look at other stadiums and what goes on there, it's 2 hours of fun, and it wasn't kind of and I still can jump up and down, and I didn't know if I could jump. There was nobody next to me jump up and down, so. So, the delay in dealing through COVID, also building up a staff and, all the other things you had to do to build up this team was was especially challenging during this time.
Yeah, and I think you brought up a great point. Is just that we actually now, with pushing back here, are fortunate enough that we hope that come March that we're going to have 100% capacity at Bank of America Stadium. What do you expect from fans when they actually show up for the first match? You talked about the march, the tifos. You talk about a party. What is your expectations for our fans?
A party.
I'm going to stand up for a second because you can't see me. I'm on this group, but I got my shirt on here. Can you see this?
Hell yeah!
So you're serious about it?
That's what I expect from fans. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
I think we can handle that, DT.
It's just a great atmosphere. We got people in here, and I just think when the season began, when the season begins, the party's on in Charlotte. Every time we play, that sort of atmosphere is what we want to create there. That sort of fun. I got my shirt.
Well, I guess you bring up a great point, though, Dave, is that everybody does expect a different game day atmosphere at Bank of America Stadium for Charlotte FC. What are you hearing when you're out in the community from fans about what they expect from us?
It's funny. I'm thinking today because I decided I have to go on a diet because, I go out to too many junk food places around Charlotte. So if I'm at places like Pinky's, I don't know if people know where that's at, but
Pinky's,
and other sort of restaurants, people don't talk to me. We have a lot of exciting things going on with football, with Panther football, but people are talking to me about Charlotte's football club. How excited they are to go to the game. They can't wait till it begins. And, these are mainly, people in there, I would say from the 20 to 35 grouping. I mean, there seems to be a lot of excitement there. And, hopefully, we can garner some of that. And, when I hear that, it's like, it's like, holy shit, we're actually doing some other stuff.
Holy shit, he's not scared to cuss.
This year is
on a media event.
But this is what people are talking about when I'm out and about for whatever reason. So, and that makes me excited about it.
Yeah, and one thing I hear you talk about a lot too is just how excited you are about the growth of soccer in the U.S. On the whole, with the World Cup coming up and just a lot of new ownership. Can you tell me a little bit more about what makes you excited about soccer?
Well, look, I mean, for me, demographically, this is the sport. I mean, this is a sport that everybody's playing. This is a sport. I coached for 9 years.
9 years.
The sport.
Way to go, DT.
I coached my son, but also two of my daughters for 9 years. I was just gonna show you. Okay, on the bottom, that's my oldest daughter. Let me see which one is she there. She's kind of has her head between these two girls over here. Yeah. That's her. When she's now. Where's she now? She just had her first baby, actually.
Congratulations.
And that's my youngest daughter, who's in the middle. That one right there.
Is that you as the coach?
Yeah, that's me, the coach, right over there.
Looking good in them shorts.
And I don't know what I look like in white shorts. Maybe not so good, but
good.
Anyways, that's the coach. Still bald. When I was younger, so not good. But anyways, so I'm excited to see soccer start. I like the game. I think it's a great demographic for, like I said, for in this country. It's a game that everybody plays when they're younger now. The world, like as you mentioned, there's a World Cup starting in Qatar, and then 4 years later we're coming to the United States of America. That should be exciting.
Now that's going to be a party.
I think it's a growth sport. It's a sport of as I said, the 20 to 35 year group. It's a 2 hours versus that you're not, you can invest your time for this day and age. You can get in, you get out. As I mentioned a couple of times, you come in and you have a good time in some sections. So some sections you can be more tranquil. You can in some sections. If you're sitting in the supporter section, if you're not ready to jump up and down, don't sit in the supporter section.
We ready.
And some of the wings, which we may put up too, anyway, so listen, I just think it's the sport for right now, for this country for right now.
And so you talk about the party, and I think that everybody here is going to do their best to make sure we throw one of the biggest parties in the Carolinas. What's the one thing that keeps you up at night as you think about getting ready for first kick 9 months from now?
Well, listen, always, I think all our construction will be done. Um, it's always building a new team and building that team out, with the players that we want to get there. I like to have, in the first year, I like to have a team that, gets into playoffs, so I want to make,
That's what I'm talking about.
getting that team together, building that out is important. Um, Listen, we have don't want to compliment you too much, Nick, but we have a pretty good team trying to get this off the ground. So, I think between you and Tom Glick, who has experience, over in his previous life with soccer, I think we have, we have a very, very good team from a management standpoint. Zoran, as a sporting director here, I think, I think it's just getting that team together and making sure we're on the field. Like I said, I'm not as worried about. I am, I think we'll have, because we had the delay, we'll have all the construction ready, I believe, and we'll have the stadium ready to go. Just making sure, we get people in the stadium and all the other things you do when you start a brand new venture. So.
No, well, look, Dave, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to join us today. I know everybody's been, dying to hear from you coming out of COVID. So we look forward to partying with you and joining you at First Kick here next March.
Hell yeah.
Whoa. We're not going to wait till March to have a party in Charlotte.
That's what I'm talking about.
You guys are going to figure out when we can get people to do that. We're going to do a practice march this fall. You guys figure out what day that is so we can march down and do a little practice. Maybe watch a game of the big sport. Maybe I don't want to offer free beers. That would be a mistake.
Free beers.
Maybe we can do something like that. We'll have to figure that out as far as getting people down there. But listen, I think that maybe we can have a little premature sort of practice party.
And maybe this fall we can give a practice run at party. I'm sure everybody would appreciate that.
Yeah. I think we can handle that.
Can I come?
You can come. You can host.
Good. I got my shirt ready to go.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Dave. I appreciate the time.
All right, I'll talk to you.
DT. I love that we have such a fun owner that wants to party. Oh, this was cool. They've been spotlighting a lot of small businesses, food trucks, different purveyors of all sorts of stuff. And that's great that they're out in the community doing that. And this stuff is making me hungry.
We plan on being around for a while.
Yes.
Customer service and a great product.
And even better for the years to come.
Right, forever. Forever?
Ever? Lulu's.
Our fan base is
an interesting
uniquely different than the Panthers fan base. While we both play in Bank of America Stadium, our current fan base is only about 13% overlap between Panthers and Charlotte FC. We're 5 times more likely to be millennial and 4 times more likely to be Hispanic.
Cool.
As well as we're in a position that we'll have Spanish language over Telemundo in both states as well. This is extremely unique. There's only less than a dozen MLS teams that currently have both English and Spanish language.
That's dope. And to have it broadcast over the air in Spanish and English, I love it.
Hi, my name is Dustin Swinehart, Head of Community Engagement for Charlotte FC, and I'm excited to introduce to you today Pitches for Progress. This is where we come into a neighborhood and provide a free, safe, and high-quality soccer field for players to play and have practices, as well as be involved with a coach and a mentor. We know that when a child is involved with a mentor, they are 55% more likely to enroll in college.
Such a great program, and we'll be talking to Dustin soon on the next episode of CLTFC Fan TV.
Come out in March of 2022 to make sure that we show everybody how Carolina represents soccer. The second part is we just don't want you there for the first match. We want a consistent home attendance of 30,000 fans. That is a full lower bowl. That would put us top 3 in the league.
And 1 home playoff game. 74,000 out the gate.
We have 3 very clear things we've got to get right. We have to be relevant within not only soccer and MLS, but we have to be relevant in the Carolinas because we are fighting college football. We're fighting the Panthers. I'm fighting the Hornets who are hot now. We are fighting for our opportunity to go out there and be relevant in the marketplace. But being relevant isn't just doing a bunch of stunts to break through. We have to resonate. I want you to care what we're putting out there. We need you to understand that this is how the soccer world works, but more importantly, this is why your soccer team is the best one in the MLS.
Damn right.
The second point is we are going to fight for a disproportionate share of voice within the marketplace. So not only in the Carolinas, but we want to make sure in business, in sports, in all pop culture, we are that brand everybody's talking about because we are doing disruptive things, and not for the sake of disruption, but because we have a plan in place of how we are going to make our team break through, and the activations we do, and the fan experiences we create. These are the types of things we need to make sure are maniacally focused on as an organization. And last but not least, we are going to go out and make sure that we are truly disrupting all of the things out there that are basic in soccer over the course of the next 2, 3, 4 years. We're going to look at how we train, where we train. You'll hear from Zoran. We don't have the same thought process of how we're building a team. We don't have the same thought process of how we're going to roll out our players. All of this is different.
Different and great. Disrupt it.
We're going to basically come out there, make sure that we fans have a chance to get out there and engage with our brand. We're going to be giving out hats. We're going to have local artists, and we're going to take this thing on the road for the Coke 600 this weekend.
Oh, I'd love to
see
this set up with the NASCAR fans.
In 2 weeks. And then in the fall, we're going to take this thing on the road for probably 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool setup, and I wonder who the team is that's taking it around. I really want to check it out.
So to answer that, I've invited Zoran, who's our sporting director, to chat with me today to help you guys better understand, what is the philosophy, what is the timeline coming up for us to go get those new players, to secure a head coach, and what are the last couple steps we need to take to make sure we're ready for March of 2022.
Drop that knowledge, Z.
Zoran, thanks for joining us for the Countdown the First Kick. One of the biggest questions we continue to get from fans is, what is our plan around players? We've signed 4 already. I know that we talk daily about, some people we plan on bringing on this summer. What is our broad player strategy?
Well, we actually started very early on, and we said very early on that we're going to start building a block by block. And we started last summer window. We got Sergio Ruiz, and then followed by Ryan Degree. And our strategy is basically to build a player roster in a super smart way, in a strategic way, and to get the players that fit our vision of how this club should look like. So we will continue doing this. We'll be very active in a summer window. We'll try to kind of hit the market. We believe there is some potentially very good, interesting players that we can target, and hopefully there'll be some news very soon.
So tell us a little bit, a lot of the questions I get is, why would we sign a player 18 months, 12 months ahead of time? What are the advantages for us to have these players already on our roster?
We looked at from different angles. We obviously thought that COVID should represent not only a problem and issue for us, but also opportunity for us to kind of see if there are any market price that is gone down, and therefore we decided that Sergio in particular, and then Riley as a very talented players would be a very smart way around if you buy them early. And then also we loaned them to other clubs in Europe, good leagues in Europe where they can get better, and which they are exactly doing. Sergio had an exceptional season. I think yesterday he played his 34 games, 6 goals, 5 assists.
Sergio.
Well, extended the loan with Birmingham City. He will be part of the Australian national team at Olympics, and we're hoping potentially even a part of the senior national team for the World qualifiers. So I think these players are also, Jan Sobocinski is playing well. I played about 25 games this season, 30 games last season in a best league in Poland. So I think these players are getting better and getting more ready for us and to start in 2022 when we start.
So the starting 11 for us is critically important. But as we build out the full 20+ man roster, tell us a little bit as we look at the super draft and the expansion draft, what our strategy is going into both of those.
Super draft.
We always said we're going to build a team rather than a group of high-profile individuals. So for us, the most important thing is the team. So we will look at obviously bringing a good pros from abroad, from other countries. We look everywhere. But we also will look at MLS market, the experienced American players, and we're hoping to kind of uncover the gem or two at Super Draft. I mean, it's if you look at the recent season, there are some players who actually really kind of are done exceptionally well that came from the Super Draft. So we're hoping having a first pick to be able to kind of find someone like that. Our scouting team is is busy. We are watching a lot of college games. We're watching a lot of going around and analyzing using data and analytics to kind of try to figure out who would be the best potential target for.
So you said it. The next big thing for us is head coach. As we look
Hell
at,
yeah.
we've got a handful of players on the roster, and we really need a coach's opinion on what is the style of play we're going to have, and more importantly, who are the handful of players that he has his eye on. When can we expect a head coach to be in Charlotte?
Well, we started looking at the head coach very early on, beginning of 2020. We interviewed many candidates. We were very kind of process-driven through this last year or so. We really wanted someone who fits every single box and ticks every single box for us. And we believe we are there. We believe we identified the best couple of candidates. It's just a finishing kind of touches, and then we're still talking to few, and then hopefully we'll be able to announce within the next 4 or 5 weeks our head coach. We are very excited. I think
we're very excited too.
It's going to be a someone who would bring success to this team in 2022. Will be someone who shares our values, our vision, how this team would play, how this team would conduct on a pitch and off the pitch, and someone who is a modern coach that has a specific style, attractive soccer. So I think we are very happy with our final couple of choices.
Zoran, given that we're the end of May, what can we expect from the technical side over the course of the next 30, 60 days for the club?
Well, we definitely ready, and we will be looking and trying to close a couple of deals. We have
close the deals. Close the deals.
Stay tuned. I think that there'll be some exciting news coming our way next couple of weeks, and also, of course, in next 60 days, the head coach announcement comes. So I think that's a super exciting, and I'm looking forward to kind of share this with the Charlotte and North and South Carolina fans.
The last question is more of a fun question. Is you yourself were recruited by Tom and Mr. Tepper to move to Charlotte from London. You have the unique challenge, as all of us do, of recruiting international players from Africa, the UK, South America to come to Charlotte. As you're selling a coach or other players, what makes you, believe that we can sell just about anybody on the value and the opportunity of coming to Charlotte?
Bojangles Biscuits.
Well, the number one, every player wants to believe that he can get better with the right type of coach. So that's the first selling point. Come to us. We're going to have a great atmosphere. It's a great city. It's a great stadium. Right. It's going to be a fantastic team, and it's going to be a coach who will make the team and yourself as individual player better. So I think that's really why these players are coming. They're not coming for the big checkbooks, because this is not what we're all about. We're all about creating a fantastic team and a really good a group of people.
Awesome.
They're coming for the party, baby. 2022.
So having programming in place to help those fans and those families that are located across the Carolinas.
Community outreach stuff. They're doing so much with the community, and it's so great to see. Also, they're doing...
Make sure that we are providing programming as it relates to soccer-specific mentorship, as well as literacy programs that are year-round.
They're getting books to the kids. They're building the pitches with the mentors, and they have a whole leadership program. So proud of what this team's already doing.
Food truck program that we're working on to make sure that we can go out into these communities who maybe not have the opportunity to get healthy foods or foods that are made for family meals.
Feeding the people, putting their money where the mouths are. It's so great.
And last but not least, unfortunately, there's always going to be this situation where there's this, individual whose family is directly impacted from warfare. So we want to make sure we're taking care of those families as well.
And helping the troops, the people who have fought for our country, to give us the ability to be in that stadium and cheer. Love it.
So as you can see, we have a lot going on in the next 9 months. We have big moments like a head coach announcement coming in the next couple weeks. We've got our expansion draft in December, our schedule release in January, and most importantly, first kick 9 months from now.
Woohoo!
I think that, as you can tell, that these are the big moments on our calendar. but we've got a lot of other small things that we'll be sure to reach out to you about. We have everything from, what it takes to build a supporters council. We're going to have our first EMLS player. We're working to finalize what's going on over in Eastland for the academy. There's a lot of other things going on behind the scenes that we want to make sure that you guys stay abreast of. But it's most important that you guys saw what the timeline is for the other big moments.
Great. Thank you so much, Nick, for hosting this and putting this out there. Lots of info for everybody. Head coach announcement coming up soon. We're going to have a live streaming event that night whenever they announce it at 9 p.m. So check that to talk about who he is. I just love it. Kit launch in November. It's just so great to finally be able to see like a true countdown to when we're actually going to be in the stadium in March. And we're going to have that party in fall, the pre-party with the free beer. That's right, DT. Love that. And the drafts and all the crazy stuff with the drafts. I cannot wait for this. This is going to be so great, and I'm so excited for Charlotte FC.
Wow, wasn't that interesting? I hope you liked it. Don't forget CLTFC Fan TV, for the fans, by the fans, damn it. Also, whenever the team announces the manager, which should happen pretty soon, we're going to host a live event, call in Wednesday night, well, it might be Wednesday, whatever day of the week it is. That night, we will have a live call-in and hosted event on our YouTube. So please subscribe, find us out there, and we can't wait for the first kickoff on the pitch. Peace.